Welcome to the 6th episode of 11 Bang Gang. Today I got John Oyston with me, and he is a veteran of 2-4 as well, along with a couple other guys, but I think you've also been in a couple other units, right?
Yeah, I've been in a couple other units. Once I left 2-4, I got out, and my ex-wife, I was working for corporate Mitsubishi in California. I came home from one day, and she's like, "You're more happy being miserable. Go back at the service." And so I went back in the service.
Okay, I'm gonna get into that, but I'm gonna do the runner. I'm gonna do way to open it. Yeah, man. Like, I know there's so many guys out there that are like, I'd go back in a heartbeat if it wasn't for this or that circumstance. So that's gonna be interesting when we talk about it. Okay, so to start, where'd you grow up?
I grew up right outside Chicago, Illinois.
Okay. What was your, as far as sports, would you play a lot of sports, outdoorsman? You know, what was your thing on that?
Middle school, high school, I played baseball. Well, I started out playing t-ball, obviously, but baseball. Then I went to football in high school, did fishing, all the outdoor stuff growing up.
Okay, so yes, you were a sports guy too. Okay, and when did you know did you always want to join the military, or was it just something that was like recent? Oh, and how old were you when 9/11 happened?
I was actually in SOI when 9/11 happened. I was 20.
Oh, okay. All right, so tell me when you decided to join the military.
I knew I was going to join the military real young. My dad, he was in Vietnam. Never really talked about it, but I always wanted to be just like him.
Yeah.
So growing up, as a little kid, I was playing Army, guns, whatever little kids played, and everything revolved around the military.
And now, was he a Marine, or was he a different branch?
No, he was in the Army. He was a door gunner.
Oh, nice.
In Vietnam.
Yeah, man. God, I bet he had some wild stories, though.
He wouldn't talk about them. Only thing I know is I was named after his best friend that got shot right next to him in Vietnam.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, those guys, a lot of those guys won't talk, you know. I ran into a Vietnam vet the other day that told me, he was like, "I won't talk." He was like, "I don't even watch movies," because I was like, "Have you seen this movie?" And he was like, "No, man." He was like, "I don't watch war movies." So I don't blame them guys. I said the other day that I felt like the ferociousness of combat across Vietnam as a whole, I feel like was worse than what we've seen. I mean, you know, and that may be true and wrong in certain circumstances, I'm sure, because even they said Fallujah was on par with Way City, but you know, as far as just the nighttime, no MPGs,
yeah,
that's wild. But anyway, okay, so you join, you want to join, you go that. What year is this?
Well, I was a grunt, so I was 0311. So I actually joined March 11th, 2001. So
wow.
0311, 2001.
Man, that's wild. So, okay, so when 9/11 does happen, how was that? Because I haven't talked to nobody in a long time that was in when that happened.
Well, I was in SOI. I was a squad leader in SOI. So everyone was still sleeping. All of a sudden, they came in with TVs, said, "Hey, everybody get up. You guys got to watch this." And then we were watching it live. It was going down. And a couple of us just turned our back. We didn't want to see it because it was hitting too much. So then everyone was all pumped because we're in SOI, getting ready to go out and do the real thing in the fleet.
Right.
But I kind of took it as it was. We joined the military to do this. We wanted to do it. We didn't know we were going to.
Right.
But I was mentally preparing for it at that time, but had friends and family back home more worried than I was.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, that's the thing is most of the guys we talk to, especially young guys like me, yeah, I mean, for us, we grew up with that war. So we knew we were like, we know what we're getting ourselves into. We chose to do it. And, you know, I'm sure most guys would have been good with it. You know, most of your guys were. But, you know, it's like there was probably a couple people that were like, "Bro, I was here for the 4 years and the GI Bill. Yeah. I didn't sign up for this." Yeah. So, okay. So, but I do have I got to roll back a little bit only because every guest I've asked this question. So you knew you were going to join the military. You go, you had family in the military. You go to boot camp. The only thing I want to ask is expectation versus reality. You were told about how it was going to be. How was it compared to what you told it?
Well, I was told, I automatically knew it was going to be rough going in, especially in the Marines. My dad wanted me to go in the Army, obviously. But so I knew it was going to be rough. A couple of my family members basically said, "We'll see you in 2 months when you fail out." Yeah, and so that gave me a little bit more fire to get through it.
Yeah.
It was rough at first because the day before I left, I was sitting on the trunk of my brother's car, and he drove off and ran over my foot, screwed over my foot.
No.
Yeah. So I showed up with a black and blue foot, busted toenails when they make you take everything off. And so it was kind of rough at first, but I enjoyed it actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone asked me, what do I enjoy? What did I enjoy about the military? Honestly, I enjoyed like boot camp and being downrange more than anything.
Man, so you had a good time. I wouldn't say boot camp for me was a terrible time, but it was just like, hey, it is. I mean, I enjoyed the process, I guess. But I had drill instructors that were doing some crazy shit. Now, I did watch a drill instructor take this midget-looking dude and put him in a trash can in the middle of the aisle and kick it over and then kicked it down the aisle. And he hated that kid, and I was all about that. I was like, dude, and I was cracking up. But I was like, if we smile, it's over.
Yeah, I had a drill instructor that when we were doing the rope climb, had a guy go up on top. He was scared, and we knew he was shaking before he got on rope. He got about halfway through and crapped his pants, climbing the rope, and it starts falling down out of his trousers, and it's plopping right down. And the drill instructor just walked up, just grabbed the rope, and started shaking it. He's like, "Just get it out and keep on climbing." Kid got it out, kept on climbing.
That is disturbing.
Yeah.
Wow, man. All right, so you leave that, you go to SOI. Did you go to SOI East Coast, West Coast?
I was at Pendleton.
Okay, so you're at Pendleton. Okay. All right, so you do SOI. I guess at that point, they're probably, 9/11 happens. You do that. Okay, so you get to 2-4. How was that experience?
It was rough at first because you get there, you're brand new core frames, and you're not even boots yet. So you get up there and everyone's pounding on you, everyone's getting ready to throw down up there. And so you just got to roll with the punches, but then you get roommates, and I got roomed with two very senior Lance Corporals at first. I was like, man. So I get there, I'm on the top bunk, no TV, no nothing. Every once in a while you walk out in the hallway, you get smoked. I used to get smoked all the time because I used to walk around with my mouth cracked open a little bit. And so they'd smoke me because my mouth was open and tell me close my mouth. It looks like I'm trying to catch flies. That never wore off. I was like, man, what is going on with this place? A couple of times I was like, do I need this?
Right.
And then I'm like, do I really need this? But I'm thinking like about my family saying, we'll see you in a couple months when you fail out. I was like, I can't do it. So at that point I was like, I'm doing a full 30.
Wow. You were like, that hardened you. You were like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you, I went through a time, and when I first got to the fleet, I'll never forget it. I got smoked. I was just, bad thing after bad thing. And I remember going out to the parking lot, and I sat down and I called my mom, and she didn't answer. And she finally called me back, and she was like, I told her about it. She was like, well, I'm gonna call your dad. And I said, don't tell Dad. Cause Dad was a Marine. And I'm like, if you, just, and she's like, well, I want you to come home. I was like, I can't, but I remember I was this close to being like, F this dude, like, this is just stupid, man. Getting treated like a child. But it's all a secret sauce to a purpose. Say it sucks when you. Okay, so where did they deploy to first?
We were in Japan, getting ready to come home. We were on the Mew, getting ready to come home, and when they started taking off in Iraq, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are extended for 6 more months." We already did 6 months. Already sending all of our stuff back home, and getting ready to go to the airport. No, you guys are extended for 6 more months. So we had to start everything all back over. Then we came home for a little bit. Then I got sent off to like Kuwait. Then we drove up to Ramadi in our Humvees.
Man, dude. So y'all go to Ramadi. What year is this? This is the 06, 07?
04.
This is 04.
The hard one.
Oh.
Like, I'm not saying 06 was the easiest one, but 04, that's when we started taking a mass drop of casualties there.
Right. Yeah. So 2-4 went to Ramadi in 04 and in 06. Wow. I didn't know that. I don't know why I didn't know that. Okay. So so you got extended. You leave Japan. You go there. What are you guys thinking? Are y'all just like at this point, like, yeah, we're getting after it. Let's do it.
That's what we were doing. We were training up for it. We started training more on our Zodiacs because we were an amphibious unit in Fox Company. And so we started training more on our Zodiacs, doing more, going to the backyard, going to the range, practicing our weapons, doing CQP and all that stuff.
Right. So when do you actually go to Ramadi? What month is this?
We took off in February, and I know that for a fact because my ex-wife was pregnant with my first daughter, Kylie.
Okay.
And I got put on the very last flight so I can be there for an emergency C-section, see my kid born. And I was supposed to take off actually Valentine's Day 2004, and that's when my daughter was born, on Valentine's Day in 2004. And then I think I took off February 19th.
February 19th. Okay. So now, do y'all fly there?
Yeah, we flew there.
Okay. Where'd y'all fly into? You remember?
Can't remember.
I don't know. No, I don't know Iraq. I don't know if y'all flew into Kuwait and then went in from there.
Yeah, I think we flew into Kuwait.
Okay.
Because I got, as most of us do, like explosions and stuff. It kind of messes with you up there. My memory's gone.
No, you're good, man. I mean, it's not the first time. I had a guest 2 podcasts ago that was blown up 6 times, and he has to like set alarms. And I mean, yeah, But okay, so so y'all get there. How does Kuwait? What's your first impression of the desert?
It was hot. It was like, I've never felt it hot like that before. I've been all over the country, still never felt hot like that. Then you get those restaurants there, they don't even taste the same. I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. I'm assuming it was pretty built up at that point because, I mean, I think we first started going to Iraq in 2003, we probably staged previous to that. I would think that it was probably pretty bustling out there in Kuwait at that time.
I mean, it was built up. We had the movie theater and stuff like that there already.
Yeah.
And I think we had I know we had a Subway because I damn near threw that up as soon as I took my first bite because it doesn't taste the same. Then there was like Starbucks, and you get like a Starbucks, and there's sand in your coffee. I was like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So do y'all truck in to Ramadi, or do y'all fly a helicopter?
No, we trucked in a whole way there, and we had back then we had like an armor. It was basically like a Folgers can that you were driving in.
Yeah.
If they throw a rock in there, it's going through there.
Yeah. But that's what a lot of people don't realize is early Iraq, even all of Iraq almost, because we didn't get the MAT Vs and the up armors and stuff. Well, y'all had the up armor Humvees later in Iraq. Later.
Yeah. We had the up armor Humvees before we took off, shortly after we got to our fob.
Okay. But real quick, was there any confusion as to whether y'all were going to Iraq or Afghanistan? Because, you joined and then 9/11 happens while you're in SOI, and then everybody's like, we're going to Afghanistan. We go and bomb Afghanistan. Was there any like, hey, we want to go to Afghanistan, or was it kind of like nobody knew anything?
Nobody knew at first, but then like, nah, we're going straight to Iraq in the dead center of the Sunni Triangle up there.
Right.
Like, this is exactly where we're going. Next thing you know, we're going home, getting on the computer, starting to search what Sunni even means.
Yeah. Because this is early. I mean, this is wow. This is 2003. Okay, I didn't know that. When you told me you went to Ramadi, I was like thinking 6. So okay, so y'all get up there. Any roadside bombs on the way, or is that not an issue at that time?
Not on the way. It started shortly after. I think our first one was shortly after. Okay.
So if you'll help me out here. So obviously Afghanistan, we have FOBs that are pretty huge because it's a rural area. So what does the Ramadi COP look like when you get there, and what does it consist of? Is it a courtyard or a bunch of buildings or a series of buildings?
Where we were at is called the Snake Pit. I think there was like one major building. That's where the CP was at, and everyone slept downstairs. But then like all the other units, well, our company had the Snake Pit. And so we had a chow hall, a makeshift gym, a shower room, and then I think like 3 other huts where everyone slept. Okay. Now, did y'all have to clear into where you were, or were you replacing? You were ripping with another unit? We were replacing the Big Red One from the Army.
Oh, okay.
They moved to like the main fob down the street, which was massive. That's where the PX was at.
Oh, of course, they went to the PA.
Yeah. Yeah.
How was the Army like? Your first reaction with them or interaction with them? How was that?
It wasn't that bad. They were in and out. They were ready to get out of that place,
Yeah.
especially where we were at. But going to the FOB, it's a whole different ballgame.
Right. Yeah. 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 Okay. What's the contact look like at the time? Is it hot or is it not too bad?
At first, it was sporadic, but I think the first mission that they took out of the snake pit, that's when we took our first KA, like right away.
Dude, what was that? Was that a firefighter or was that an IED?
No, they were driving down the road and somebody down in the alleyway shot an RPG. It went straight through the window of the passenger side and hit the Kevlar of the driver and just took him out.
Man, did it detonate in the vehicle though?
No, it flew off with the Kevlar on it.
Yeah. Okay, man. Holy cow, dude! I mean, what was y'all's reaction to that? Were y'all like, "Shit, now we're in it"? I mean, you're talking first mission.
I was on the snake pit still. We heard it. It was just down the road. They were coming back.
Right.
And we heard it. And next thing you know, everyone gets up at the guard points and we're trying to figure out what's going on. You can just see the smoke down there. And then our sergeant major at the time, Sergeant Major Booker, he saw the guy. He saw the guy and just took off after him with the sniper rifle.
Man, I've heard stories of Sergeant Major Booker. Is he still around or?
He retired.
Yeah.
We all still talk about he might be on the page sometimes not. He's trying to stay away from Facebook stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
He retired, had a massive stroke, but
man,
he's still bad enough to scare you.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard some stories from some of the older guys about him. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, as you're going through this deployment, I mean, I'm guessing you guys are you doing security patrols or are you doing more like security convoys?
We had a QRF. I was on QRF rolling in out. And then we have security patrols in Ramadi. They have like a school that had like a big picture of Saddam on there. It was like Saddam school. We'd have to patrol in there every once in a while and see what's going on. Right. There was a hotel. It's either a hotel or apartment building. Got to climb upstairs, no elevators, all the way up to the roof. That's where our lookout point was, on top of the hotel. Man.
Now, are you guys running iron sights at this time, or you got the Trigicons already?
No, iron sights. Some of them, I think the team leaders had them. Yeah. Everyone else had iron sights.
Man, we're rocking old school here. I bet the MVGs were garbage back then. What PBS were they? 7s? It might have been set.
It might have been 7s.
Yeah, because it wasn't. I'm telling you, it wasn't 14s. I know that for sure. Yeah,
I did not get 14s till later on.
Yeah. I remember seeing a pack, the pack 15, 16 that sits on top. I remember seeing like a pack 2, and that thing looked like a freaking, God, it was huge. And I was like, this takes up the whole rifle, dude.
Yeah.
Man, it was insane how fast technology went. Okay, so you're doing all these patrols. How you feel? I mean, you getting any engagements? When do you get shot at for the first time?
Ooh, for the first time?
Yeah. What was that like?
It was probably, I would say 3 months in, 4 months in. We're sitting on top of the hotel and we got a lookout point and you got the camo netting up top to try to block you. And all of a sudden you hear a pop. And I'm like, what is that? And all of a sudden you hear a pop and you look around and the bullets are going right over our head and hit the wall right behind us.
Right.
And then everyone gets up there, starts scanning, and you send it pop back and hit a building across the river because there's a river. So you hit a pop across the building. It's going back and forth. They take a pop shot. We take a pop shot. They take a pop shot over and over. And then after that, you're like, screw it. Ready to go.
So you're probably you're not even seeing these guys. These are just blind rounds coming in.
Blind. The first one was blind rounds. The next one, the next one after that, you can plainly see the guy. And we took off after him.
Yeah. Now, is this snipers are probably pretty huge at this point? I'm assuming. Yeah. Urban warfare. Now, are you guys dealing with any at this time? Are you dealing with any snipers that are, God, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the ones that become famous. I'm not saying they were famous, but ones that seem like semi-pros.
Our snipers pretty good. Their snipers. I don't think we had many people even come close to getting hit with their snipers.
Okay. Okay. So these ain't like, you know, there was that one that was famous in Baghdad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, kind of like that. Because you know, there was a guy that was in Afghanistan told a story that they had a sniper in that village who was so good that he shot the driver in the T box going 55 miles an hour down the road. Yeah, killed one of the ANA soldiers, the Afghan National Army. Yeah, so apparently he was pretty bad, but they finally got him. But you know, I mean. And see, that was my whole thing, is because when we went to training and everything, everybody was like, you're going to do house to house, house to house. Everything's based in Iraq. And then we end up going somewhere else. But, you know, the thing is at this time, you guys probably didn't have a lot of foreign knowledge during that workup. I'm assuming there wasn't a lot of experience in the unit, or was there?
Most of our unit, like especially the ones that came with us, everyone that came through SOI, we were the ones going through there.
Yeah.
Most of our seniors, they were gone.
Right. Okay. So, I mean, you guys are all pretty much doing this for the first time. Man. Okay. Now, what's the action look like? You said you got shot at 3 or 4 months in. Is it pretty kinetic, or is it just sporadic over that first section?
First section was probably sporadic.
Yeah.
After we got the first one out of the way, we were ready to go. And almost every single time we go out, somebody's getting shot at. We had one blue versus blue freaking shootout over the river, and it was never ending.
Man, how was radio communications at this time?
It was pretty decent.
Okay.
Pretty decent. We hit some sloppy spots to where we'd lose communication, but the way that we had our battalion spread out, we were spread out throughout the whole city, so we can just chop off their.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. Y'all probably had towers too. Now, what was the mission here in Ramadi the first time? Like, did you know, was it a secure and hold kind of mission, or were you clearing certain sections at times?
We went over there basically with the motto of hearts and minds, try to win over hearts and minds, but we'd have to cordon a whole section of the city, go house to house, searching for all their weapons. We'd have to confiscate like all the they had police blocks that were gold inlaid that our president gave to them. Dang. And so we had to go looking for all that stuff.
Man. Okay. Now are you guys running checkpoints too, I'm assuming?
Fox wasn't. We didn't have checkpoint.
Okay. How many IEDs you see out here at that time?
I think it was like 3 or 4 saw in person. A couple of them, we were on guard point. You can see them daisy chained down the road. But personally, like 3 to 4.
Okay. So any crazy thing happen? Because I'm gonna get past this deployment. I'm sure there's a good one. So give me 2 stories from this deployment. Give me a crazy funny thing that happened, and something crazy, you know, that may not be funny.
I'll give you the crazy funny one first. You know, downrange, there's times where you don't have anything to do.
Oh yeah.
So had a couple guys put on ski masks, and they go get one of the team leaders, right? And they hold him down, and we all know each other, so we're all trying to be quiet, laughing. So we hold him down, and they go inside his room and inside his bag and grab his thing of Icy Hot, right? Grab his thing of Icy Hot and his last pack of cigarettes.
Man.
Yank down his drawers. We're holding him down on his stomach, so his crack is straight up. Spread the Icy Hot right into his crack, and then you take the carton of cigarettes or the pack of cigarettes and spread it in there. And then finally, he's screaming. Finally, we let him go, and everyone runs back to the room, take off the beanies and stuff. And we're like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Man, these damn boots, they came and got me." I'm like, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about? They came and got me, held me down, and put Icy Hot in my crack." And he's like, they used my last pack of cigarettes too. And I'm like, "Well, I guess you're going to have to go take a shower and freaking wash it off." So he goes and takes a shower, comes back, and we're sitting out there smoking cigarettes, dipping everything. And you can hear screaming in the shower. Because you know, when you get Icy Hot wet, it activates higher.
Right.
And so he's sitting there screaming like a baby. He comes back. He's like, "I'm going to go get those boots right now." And we're like, "Oh, it was this one, and this one." And so he goes in there. Next thing you know, there's everything flying out of the room and comes back like, it's a shame that they did that to you, man. If we would have known about it, we would have stopped it.
Man, dude, y'all dirty, man. That's dirty. First of all,
We got them back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, last pack of cigarettes, too, that's bad. That's bad.
Well, that's bad. Especially with the PX. The PX over there, bought out in a second.
Man, dude, did y'all ever smoke any local cigarettes, though?
Yes.
Okay. How were those?
They were, man, it's like smoking turpentine. It was bad. It's like bottom shelf whiskey.
Man, they had in Afghan, they had a cigarette called 7 Stars.
Mm-hmm.
And if you unroll the filter, there was like a piece of 2-3 tiny pieces of charcoal in there. And we used to always be like, and then the Pines Lights was another one. And my friend joked and said, man, I've got to smoke 10 of these back to back to get one Marlboro Light. And I was like, no shit.
See, where I was at further down my career, another story, further down my career in Afghanistan, all the cigarettes over there, they were laced with opium. So we were banned from even touching them.
Shit. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. You finish this deployment out, and then you say you get out after this, or you go one more time somewhere?
No, I got out. Okay. I got out.
Okay.
And, like I said, I was working for corporate Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
Came home one day, my ex-wife, that wonderful ex-wife over there, she's like, "You're more happy being miserable. I want you back in the military." I said, "All right."
Man.
So then I go to the Marines and sitting there like, "Yeah, you just got out." I was out less than 6 months.
Oh, man.
And they're like, "You just got out. You got to wait a year." I was like, "I'm not doing that." I was like, "If you got to deal with the person I got to deal with at home, I want gone." And so he's like, "All right, come back in 6 months. We'll see what we can do." And I walk out, and lo and behold, the Army guys are right there. "We'll take you 2 weeks."
Dang.
Yeah.
Then you go to the Army.
Yeah. And I hated every second of it.
Okay. So how did they make you do basic? Because I've always heard. Okay. Yeah. There was a rumor, and I don't know if it was true, that you don't have to do basic and no service if you do it in the Marines. So
no, didn't even come close. I went straight to their freaking their schooling.
And so what'd you do in the Army?
Well, that wonderful person said, "You can go back in the military, but you can't do combat arms no more." I was like, that's the whole reason why I joined the military, was combat arms.
Right.
And so then I thought of my dad, and they were like, "You can be a machinist and a welder." I was like, "All right, fine, I'll do a machine and a welder."
Yeah.
So then further on, I get to my unit in the Army, and they're like, "We're going to put you in charge of service recovery. You're going to go recover all the blown up vehicles downrange." I was like, my wife's gonna love that one.
Gonna nut up. Yeah, that's how it was when I left the infantry. I went to the wing, and I changed my job in the Marines. And that's what my wife was like, "Look, I don't care what you do. If you want to do another 4 years, but you ain't doing this again." And touche. It is what it is. So you're a machinist. How long you do this for? Well, no, you said they made you the recovery guy. Okay, so when do you deploy with the Army? All right, when's your first deployment with them? What year is it?
2000. I got out of the Marines in 2006. I went to my schooling. And end of 2006, I went to my unit. 2007, and I deployed 2008.
2008, so the year I joined the Marine Corps. Okay. I'm super young, man, which is funny because, dude, I'm going to tell you, I knew it was time for me to get out of the Marines when toward right at the end of my career, like, people were like, "Oh, dude, next year there's going to be guys who join there were people who were joining." No, that wouldn't be right. I don't remember. It was something like some people were joining that they weren't even alive for 9/11. And I was like, when that happens, it's time to go. Like,
I had to deal with that.
Yeah. I mean, you got guys who join, and you're like, "Dude, you weren't even alive with this, or you don't even understand this." So, okay. So you deploy, where do you deploy to with the Army?
I went everywhere. Kosovo, Lebanon, Afghanistan, Philippines, Iraq. Yeah.
Now, you're doing, now when you go, like, I guess anything crazy about Kosovo or any of them other places? I know it's pretty cool. Like, there's some
Kosovo, cool. You can go there and you can see spot back in way back in the day when they did the bombing of Kosovo and Lebanon and stuff. You can still see sites where it hit. Same thing over in Okinawa where they dropped the bombs, but
Yeah.
that's about it. The food, I didn't like it. I got real skinny over there.
Yeah. Yeah. How was the Army's culture compared to the Marine Corps?
Well, put it this way, when I crossed over into the Army, they saw everything I did in the Marines, all my training, everything, all my schools. They promoted me right away on the spot. So
Wow.
there was no mentality of being strong and able to do your job. There was a lot less discipline, almost zero discipline half the time.
You know,
That's why
I hear people say that the Army's good, and then I hear people say it's bad. And I don't know what to believe, to be honest. Yeah.
it all depends on the unit where you go to. At first I was in California. I stayed in California in my unit. I went to Fort Irwin. And then after, it was all young kids, like way too young down there. And there was no discipline whatsoever. Then I go to New York, the 10th Mountain Division. And that was a lot more strict. It was close to what I wanted to be, but it wasn't there.
Yeah. I've heard really good things about 10th Mountain, to be honest. I've heard really good things. And, so would you say that, they say that the Marine Corps infantry is about on par with the Army Ranger? What's your...
I think a lot of stuff that we did a lot more faster and precise than the Rangers did.
Right.
They take a lot to actually think out the mission. We think about a mission after it's already done, figure out where we screwed up. But it's all planned out in the Rangers. And when I was in Fox, we planned it out in our head as we're going through.
Right.
Do what we need to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of people try to make that comparison. The problem is you can't, because the Rangers have so much more money. The Army just has so much more money. I mean, how was that? Like, did you guys ever want for anything? The Marine Corps is like, there's this whole thing where that you'll be like, we don't have the stuff to do this. And the Marines, it's just like, well, figure it the fuck out. And you're like,
oh yeah, they'd be like that. And then you get to the Army and like, well, we want this. Well, we got to look at our budget, because the unit I was in, we would get like a $2 million budget for a quarter, and we would blow $2 million in probably 2 weeks. Then the rest of the quarter, we were done.
Now you're doing machining. So you went to machining school, like is it welding and machining, or just machining?
If you're starting out and you're non-NCO, you go to either welding or machining.
Okay.
And then once you become an NCO, you got to go to your NCO school. And that's when they train you on your other job. So if you're a machinist and you pick up your E5, they'll train you on both.
Yeah. Okay. Now, how did you like the job itself? Was the job itself right?
It was all right. I mean, it's a paycheck in the end, but PT was a little different.
Yeah.
Lot slower, a lot less intense and stuff, and a lot more profile Rangers and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Well, and is this unit that you're with, or this job that you're with, are they attached to an infantry, or are they attached to like an engineer support battalion kind of thing?
California was artillery. We were attached to artillery.
Okay. What about 10th Mountain? You were attached to 10th Mountain. Okay.
10th Mountain, we had infantry, engineers, everything.
Yeah. Okay. So now, all right. So where do you deploy? You deploy to a bunch of places. What's the next? When you go back to Iraq, what year is that?
2012.
2012. So is this, man, this has got to be late.
It was real late. It was cleanup, pretty much.
But that's what I was going to say. When did everyone leave Iraq total? Full stop.
Full stop? I think there was leftover units every once in a while. I think it was like 12, 13 when they started
right at the
out.
end. Yeah. Now, was that a pretty boring deployment, or were you guys seeing any action at all there?
In Iraq?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a couple IEDs where we had a Norwegian vehicle go over there, and they had, right as soon as the IED was smack dab in the middle of the truck, they blew it up. And so again, I was recovery. I had to go recover the vehicle, and there were still bodies burning inside the truck while I'm trying to scrape it off the road.
Now, are they relying on your kind of previous experience? The guys are like, hey, this dude kind of knows what he's doing. Let's follow his lead.
Yeah, pretty much everyone in my convoys, they knew as soon as I got there, it was basically as soon as my boot touched the ground, I was in charge of the unit. I didn't care if there was a colonel there or not, but it was, as soon as my boot touched the ground, I took over the whole scene.
Yeah, yeah. So now, were you kind of did you change up how they did any like? I just lost what I was going to say. Dang it. Well, I'm gonna blame it on a TBI.
Yep.
The SOPs,
Yeah.
standard operating procedures.
Yeah.
You know, the Army has their own where you like, hey, no, that's not going to work here. I've already done this before. You guys need to do this. You need to do that. I mean, is that you're kind of moving things around a little bit?
Man, that started as soon as I was in school to become a welding machiner.
Mm.
And as soon as I started school, and it carried over, and then I graduated top of my class because of that. And then I get to the unit, they read everything, then they went over my record, and they're like, man, we're going to promote you on the site right here. And then after that, I'd have to go to the company meetings and plan out the field ops and stuff.
Man, so they're juicing you for everything you're worth.
Yeah.
When you go back to Iraq in 2012, what rank are you at this point?
E6.
E6. So you're staff sergeant. Is it staff sergeant in the Army?
Well, up until you hit E7, everyone's a sergeant. Doesn't matter what the rank is. So okay. That's why you hear everyone, hey, morning, sergeant. And you turn around and it's a staff sergeant. And I couldn't do that. I could still call everyone staff sergeant or sergeant.
Right. Yeah. I mean, see, that's my thing is the rank structure is a little bit different, and you'll hear people in the Army call people Sarge and stuff. And I'm like, don't ever do that near a Marine because they will fuck you up, dude.
That's how it was in my shop, in the recovery shop. I had signs up on the wall that said, doesn't matter if you're Army or not, you're going to call me by my rank. And stuff like that. And there was a lot of smoking going on.
Yeah, I bet those dudes, when you first got there, they were like, we hate this dude.
Yeah, every single one of them.
Man, I'm assuming you earned the respect of quite a few of them in the end.
Quite a few of them. Like, no kidding. As soon as I got to my unit in New York, there was I told you when we were Ramadi, we were replacing the Army there.
Yeah.
And there was a firefight while they were still there. And you see one E7, one sergeant first class there, like hiding behind a car, and you can tell he's shaking, he's afraid and everything like that.
Yeah.
And we go over there and push him. Hey, you got to start moving. We're getting firefight. Then I get to my unit. He was the unit's the Army's version of Company Gunny.
Wow.
And then I was like, I know exactly who you are. And he looked at me, and he turned white as a ghost.
Talk about being haunted from your past, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that sucks. Yeah. So this Iraq deployment, how long are these deployments? 7 months, or are they like a year?
They range from 6 months to a year. They start out at 6 months to a year.
Man, yeah, because I know the Army would now. If you do a year, do you get R&R?
You can. I got an R&R. Seems like every single deployment, I was having a kid. So I got an R&R to come home and have a kid.
Now, are you married? So you said you said your ex when you were in the Marines, that was your ex. So yeah. Were you married before you went in?
No. I when I was a straight boot, as soon as I got to the fleet, I got invited with a couple of my buddies. We went out to a party at a college, and it was at a fraternity. And so I ended up looking at a sorority chick, ended up hooking up with her. That ended up becoming my wife.
Oh man, they always say to not do that.
I'll tell you right now, don't do it.
So how many kids do you have with her? Yeah, I know you said you had one.
I got 3.
So you got 3. Okay.
Yeah, I got the oldest one from the first deployment is my daughter. She's 21 now. Yeah. Then I got 2 boys after that. Then I have a stepdaughter from my second marriage.
Okay, so this is the second wife. When do y'all get married?
That's a story, man. We got married twice. We got married twice, actually. We got married twice, never got divorced. All right. All right. First, let me start with my daughter. She calls me Deadpool because I've been through everything. I've been shot at, close calls. Nothing's ever killed me, right?
That's right.
So I had heart attacks, still alive, right? Man. So then I'm with my current wife. Before we got married, I got cancer, right? Had massive surgery, still lived through that. And my last trip to the hospital before my cancer surgery, I actually died on the table, and they brought me back to life. And so
Dude.
I was like, hey, we gotta get married in the hospital because we don't know if I'm gonna make it out of this again. So apparently, I can't remember it because I was still high on the drugs that they gave me from the surgery. I was the day after my surgery. I stood up in the hospital room and got married. I don't remember single second of it. And
Man.
then we got married in Chicago, August 8th this year.
This year. Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations. So now I'm assuming you remember this one.
Yeah. Well, we'll just put it this way. I used to drink a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then I had all my buddies from Fox. A couple of my buddies flew out there. My dad passed away while I was in Fox. So then I had my company commander, Captain Carlton, come out there, and he took the place of my dad in the wedding. And so it was basically all military. Like
Awesome.
we had a whole table just military, 2 people in dress blues, which was my best man who lives out here with me, like a couple minutes away from me. And then my Captain Carlton, he came in his dress blues.
Man, dude.
And then I drank quite a bit. My daughter, she was saying like I had like something like 27 shots that night. We get to me and my wife, we get to the hotel room, and the next day I woke up feeling so bad that I disrespected her wedding and everything like that. And I was like, she's gonna leave me now just because I drank that much. And I was like the fresh boot straight out of boot camp in the bathroom thrown up all night because I drank too much, and she had to deal with that on her wedding night.
Dude. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, that's the thing is I don't drink that much anymore. But man, back in the day, just I don't know how we're still alive.
I know. I used to when I was in Fox and 2-4, I would average around a 30-pack a day plus a pint of whiskey.
Yeah,
every single day, and wake up and go do PT the next day.
that's what I'm saying. We used to run, and you could point out who drank what last night. You'd be like, "Yeah, you smell like Jack. You hit the vodka. Yep. You drank the Natty Light." You know what I mean? It was insane.
Then you got that one guy with one sock, but you had to stop and take a shit.
Yeah. So 2-4 was still in Mateo back in 04. So I'm assuming y'all ran back there in the tomato patch.
Yeah. In the patch, we had to run out to the gate, run up the hill, everything. Every once in a while, we'd hit up First Sergeants, run up that too.
Yeah, for those of you East Coast homies that have never seen Camp Pendleton, when we say they're hills, we legitimately mean hills. And I mean like mini mountain. Man, yeah. Dude, that was the only thing I hated about the West Coast. But it was beautiful. I mean, I loved it out there.
I loved it too, because my house, after I got married, my house, like, you can walk across the street right on the beach. And that was on post too. Right by the San Mateo gate. You got that PX right there.
Yeah.
My housing's right there.
Right across the street. My old squad leader used to live there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like we lived down where at one point we lived, I don't know if it was down where the artillery was out post. Yeah. I don't remember where it was, but it was down the 5 some, but there was a spot where it was only a couple of minutes from the beach, across the gate, you come in and it wasn't far. It was great. At Del Mar. Yeah, that was a great place. Man, I love living there. Okay, so you're married at this point. You go back to Iraq. You're with the Army. Now, I mean, how was that deployment as far as overall? I mean, anything psycho happen on that?
I would say a couple pop shots and stuff like that. Couple people getting hit, but I think in like a year, I think we had like 1 KA, which is completely different than my first one. 30, I think. Like I saw my 2 best friends while we were in there. I watched them drown in the Euphrates, and that's the one that killed me, because like that's the one that started the whole PTSD thing, because it was at night. We had to do a raid on an island in the center of the river. Currents were so bad. They were scout swimmers too. And the currents were so bad that there was one person that made it through there. That was Pretrick. There's a lot of people that say that they made it, but we all know that there's only one person that made it, and that was him. And I was looking through my MVGs and I saw the hands. And then next thing you know, I looked, and then I didn't see no hands in the water. And we spent 3 days, no sleep, walking back and forth down that shore looking for them. Finally, we had to have the Navy bring up their divers and come find them smack dab at the bottom of the river.
I was going to say, y'all crossing that full jet?
Yeah.
I just feel like that was a bad decision. So all around. I don't know. You know, there were a couple. I mean, there were a couple cases of bombing in Afghanistan. And
Yeah.
now I think this is two for second types of money, but did it happen on blood trip where the snipers got killed?
Yeah, that was my buddy Tommy. They were up on top of that building.
Yeah, can you tell that story behind that?
All right, they were you had the snipers. They would grab like two infantries to go out, just regular infantries to go out there and help pull support and everything, do radio watch and everything. So they were, from what I was told, they were okay to go down to 25% because there's only 4 people, so only one person to stay up. So everyone was down. I think it was Contreras was still up, pulling radio watch, I believe, and there was construction right next to the building that we were at, and so they were used to people coming in and out. And I guess what they say happened is while they were sleeping, they snuck up to the top of the roof where they were at and killed them all right there, took their rifle, took all their gear, left them in their skivvies, left them in nothing while they were dying. They actually, there's pictures of the people that recovered them. One of the person that recovered them was actually one of our guys that left the unit. He was with us when that happened.
Right.
And we all knew him. He was with us when that happened. They found the guy. There was a guy driving around shooting that weapon out the back of a BMW. They took off the taillight. There was a hole. And that's how they were getting their kills. They were driving around vehicles.
Man, I seen that photo in SOI. They showed us that. They put that up in Death by PowerPoint. They showed those sniper holes in the tail of the car where they, like, dude, it was like, that's like movie shit, man. Like, yeah. And I remember looking at that, and then like they would show us a photo of Iraq, like a street, and they would say, okay, what is wrong with this photo? And you're just looking at it and you're like, it just looks like Iraq. And like, no, there's a sniper in the second window to the left. And you're like, I'm going to get killed if I go over there. I mean, yeah. Yeah.
I think every one of us that we went over there, we were already prepared that there's a pretty solid chance we're not coming back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we went over there, we got to go balls to walls. So we got a job to do. Whatever it is, we're going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, and that's the thing. I was talking to another guy, and he was talking about how all the crazy shit he did after the Marine Corps, and he was like, honestly, I did that because I wasn't supposed to be alive. I expected to go to war. I expected to die young, and that was it. There was going to be nothing else for me. Yeah, so it's just crazy how we have that attitude, and then you turn out to not die, and you're like, well, fuck, So you're like, what now? Where do you go next after that?
From there, I went to the Philippines. That was like a peacekeeping mission. That's it.
Yeah.
The Marines do it every once in a while on the Muse, I guess. But for some reason, we got tagged.
Okay. I'm assuming that was pretty uneventful.
No.
How was that?
No, not at all. I mean, there's a lot more boy girls than there are girls over there.
I thought you were about to tell me y'all did some combat or something over there.
No, not over there.
I'm assuming you've seen a donkey or a pong or some version of that show in the Philippines.
I saw that in Tijuana when I was stationed at Pendleton.
See, you were in the heyday when you could go to Tijuana. By the time I got there in 2008, they were like, you will never go to Mexico without command approval.
Yeah, that's probably because of people like us.
Yeah, I've heard some of y'all's crazy stories and how y'all screwed us all out of that privilege.
Yeah.
Okay, so when do you go to Afghanistan?
When was it? Was it 11?
11. Okay, you're there. You're in the country at the same time I am. So 2000.
I was way up north.
Way up north. Yeah. Right. So you're talking mountains, heavy mountains.
No. When we went up there, it was way north of Kandahar. When we went, it starts with an M, I think. We were the northernest U.S. personnel that would have ever been there.
Wow. Now, how was that compared to going to Iraq? I'm sure that was completely different to you.
It was completely different. Back, like, again, it's a different time. We were allowed to get cell phones out there and everything. We had satellite TV, and I had my own room in a hooch. But as far as like contact, you'd have to drive like 45 minutes before you get contact. There was none in the city whatsoever.
So now, what about IEDs if you wasn't taking contact?
Yeah, we get IEDs, but like we wouldn't get like rifle contact whatsoever.
Right. Man, that sucks. That's the thing about Afghanistan is there wasn't a lot of rifle contact unless you were in a small area or you were in an area that just was hot. You know, we had a couple of places you could go and it was almost guaranteed you get into a gunfight. You just had to go there. Yeah. So now you're still doing vehicle recovery at this point, right?
Yeah, I was in charge of the section.
All right. So what's the craziest thing that happened on this deployment?
Besides me getting my recovery vehicle stuck and almost flipping it over, I would say there was a vehicle that got hit with a rocket, like in the center, smack dab of the center of the river. We were crossing the river. They let like the first 4 vehicles go through.
Yeah.
Like the 5th vehicle got hit right on the side with the rocket. We're getting firefights from on top of the mountains, raining down on us. People are like legitimately adult males crying. You can hear crying going through there. I grabbed my guy and I'm throwing him around. I was like, hey, we got to hook up this truck and drag him out because people are going to drown. People are still alive inside the vehicle. But like, you know, like how like the MRAPs, you can lock them from outside.
Yeah.
Somehow all the doors got locked. They're trapped inside this vehicle.
No.
Yeah. So we had to get out. I had to pull my vehicle out. I had a big 10-ton wrecker, massive wrecker. Get up, hook up tow straps to the back of it. And I just floored that thing. They're bouncing around inside of the vehicle and everything. Floored that out. And next thing you know, we unlocked their doors, and my whole convoy left the vehicles and everything, started charging up the hill, trying to get the insurgents going up there.
Man, dude, I bet that was hectic because you're talking about taking fire from above down into a low position. Man, and having to work like that. Now, the MRAPs, we had a lot of experience because we had them in Afghanistan. So they were easy to get stuck and hard to get stuck at the same time.
Yeah.
Because if they got stuck, they got mega stuck.
Yeah, because those things, they're as big as they are. You didn't realize that they can go that fast, and people start getting stuck, and then they just floor it. And next thing you know, you're stepping out in the mud.
Right. You're digging a hole, too.
Yeah.
Now, did y'all have MAV-Vs?
We did.
Dude, now you talk about a bad truck. If the government would sell me one, I would highly consider buying one.
I would. I look on could you go on the government auction websites?
Yeah.
I go on there and search them. I was like, do I want one of these? Do I want a Hammett? Do I want this? Next thing you know, I was like, I can't find that one. All that's left is a piece of crap soft top Humvees.
There's a guy down the road from me, and he's bought 2 7-tons. The last one he drove to Camp Pendleton to pick up and drove it all the way back here, all the way from California to Georgia. And I'm like, dude, God bless you, bro, because I'm going to tell you right now, I sure as hell wouldn't have done that.
No.
I would have paid somebody to ship that bitch.
I wouldn't have bought it.
I mean, you have more experience on the mechanic side. Is the 7-ton really not indestructible?
It's not. It's like one of those vehicles you see in movies that can drive through walls and they're still driving fine. Those things are ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved it, man. I love those things. So, yeah, so when you get you say you got the wrecker stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna ask only because we got things stuck a bit, and every time we had to call the wrecker out from headquarters, it took like an hour to get there. So it's like you fuck it up, you're fucked. The only other exception is we had a tank one time that got stuck. And so we had a tank platoon with us. Well, the Hercules that pulls the tank out also got stuck trying to pull the tank out. And then another tank got stuck trying to daisy chain those tanks together. That turned into a 14-hour fiasco. But anyway, so people understand that when we say we get something in Afghanistan stuck, it's usually fucked. Yeah. So I talk about this wrecker getting stuck. How big is this thing? Give people an example of how big these things are.
And I'm 6'3", and the tires come up to my chest, just the tires. So anyways, we got a mission, and there's a vehicle, Humvee with flat tire. Peace, no contact, no nothing. You can stand outside and sunbathe if you want to, but we go out there, and it's right next to like a little creek, a little river, and I'm pulling up, and all of a sudden the creek bed just gives away, and my passenger side tire just drops down. And next thing you know, I was like, well, I'm just going to gun it, see what happens. So I gunned it, and it went down further, and it went down so bad to where the complete driver's side, all what is it? All four tires on the driver's side are up in the air. So like if you open up the passenger door, it just dropped, and it was a up armored vehicle, so it's like 100 pounds per door, and it's 100 pounds just flying down. So I was like, hey, we got to get out of the vehicle and try to see if we can cover it. So I open up, I had to shoulder my door to get out, and I climb out on top. My TC, the passenger, he opens up his door. Again, it's $100 door. He opens his door, and he's unbuckled, just flies wide out into the water. And I walk over, I climb down, I walk over, he comes up just covered head to toe in mud. Like there's rocks and everything in his mouth. And so we get that. And so I pull out my chain. That thing has a hydraulic hoist in the back to pick up vehicles. So I pull out my chain and I extend it out, and I'm on top of the vehicle working the controls because it's on the driver's side. I'm on top of the vehicle sitting down, working the controls in between my legs, and I'm extending out the chains, the cable and everything. He goes, we lined up, what was it? Two MRAPs and an LMTV hooked up. We were so stuck that I started pulling all those vehicles towards my truck. My truck didn't budge.
Man.
We had to sit out there for 4 hours because I got stuck waiting for another Hemet to come pull us out.
Yeah, another wrecker, another big one. Yeah, now he pull you out, no problem?
No. We had to have LMTVs hooked up to the back of it, and he hooked up to the driver's side to try to winch it down. And next thing you know, it came down, and when it came down, all the mud that was stuck on my tires on the passenger side just came up flinging through the air, and it was throwing rocks, and ended up popping one of my tires on the passenger side.
Now you got to deal with that after all that. What's the total time it takes? Like, so you go out to fix a Humvee flat tire, and here we are. How many hours later?
That was like just to roll out. It was like a 30-minute job to go pick up a vehicle, tow it back.
Yeah.
Back in 30 minutes. We were out there for 8.5 hours.
That's what people don't understand. That in a combat, it doesn't matter. You could say combat, no combat. It doesn't matter. When we go to these foreign countries, there's no support. We are the support. So when the support gets stuck, bro, things just turn into a nightmare.
And it's a nightmare, especially like if it's nighttime. It was nighttime when I was doing it. I got on my Facebook page, got all the pictures of my vehicle stuck, and it was nighttime, and we were out there for so long. It was daytime, soaking wet, no food, no water. I think I ended up finding because the wrecker has like little security boxes. I started opening up security boxes to look for MREs. I ended up finding one can of chew and one pack of cigarettes that was like half crushed. Oh. And so we're out there just trying to string them all together, trying to make everything work just so we can get by.
I'm telling you, that was the thing. What my XO always made sure, he was like, what is in those vehicles? Every like couple weeks or week, we would re-inventory, pull all the ammo out and everything. And he was like, we have to make sure, because we did that. We got to a point where we went to a crossing where a river crossed, and it was a rainy season. And so it had flooded the road. And so every time I was Vic 1, and every time I drove to cross where this field was, the mine roller would swing off to the left, and the whole MRAP would go down into the ditch. And dude, my gunner, how high do you think those MRAPs are, the 6x? Man, they're probably what, 12, 13?
I know they're over 10.
Yeah.
Probably like lower, probably a little bit lower than 15.
Yeah, so my gunner, when that thing flipped on its side, he could step out of the turret straight onto the ground. And we did that 2 times, and finally EOD, with 2 vehicles back, was like, bro, I'll blow that wall and flood that farmer's field, and we'll just cross the road. And so he called the captain. He said, hey, I'm going to det this wall. And the captain was like, you cannot det that wall because that farmer is going to kill us. Back to the whole hearts and minds shit, where it's who cares, bro? I understand. Pay the guy like $500 and be done with it. Well, we ended up finally crossing it, but EOD swore that if I put that vehicle in that ditch one more time, he was blowing that wall. But you know, the crazy thing is, you're supposed to be using balance and shit, and we're standing out there walking around waist deep water trying to figure out where it is, and it's like at some point you're just like, I don't give a shit, dude. I just want to get the fuck back and get a hot meal. You know,
I would have pulled off one more time just so them blow the wall so I can get back.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I ended up tracking it after I went out there in waist deep water and walked it. But okay, so when do you get back from Afghanistan? What year?
2012.
2012. Okay. Now, how many years total in
Did I do?
the Army?
I did 12 years in the Army, 6 years in the Marines.
6
Then
years.
I got retired at 18 years because you retire early,
Right.
right?
Okay.
So I retired early, and then I ended up getting medically retired at 90% after that.
Okay. Okay. Now, is 2012 the last time you deployed to a combat zone, or did
Yeah.
you? Okay. So I'm assuming the ones after that were pretty uneventful.
Uneventful minus arrest. That's about it.
Yeah. 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 So what year did you finally retire?
And 19, it was my final time I put on a uniform.
How did you feel at the time? Did you feel accomplished, or did you feel like you were
No.
like, nah?
If there was a chance for me to go back in, if they didn't medical retire me, I probably would be back in right now.
Man, so you're like, I'll do it till I croak, man, till I just either higher tenure out or yeah.
It's that, and you just miss it. You miss like you get friends while you're in the military, and you get friends when you're civilian life. They're not the same type of friends.
Yeah.
Because you'll have, if let's say you get friends, some of your friends, not all your friends, while you're in civilian life, you get in a fight in a bar. Not all of them are going to have your back. You get in the military, and it doesn't matter if you know the guy in the military, he's going to have your back no matter what, just because you're basically in that brotherhood.
Yeah.
And you don't have that no more once you get out.
So now you still in contact with your Marine friends at this point, at the end of your Army career?
Yeah. I was, because like when you get out, like where you originally sign up, that's the furthest that the government will send you back home. So I was actually driving from way upstate New York, 35 miles south of Canada, to Michigan, where I live now. And one of my buddies, Bullock, which is a whole different story, but he called me out of the blue, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, "Dude, I'm driving to Michigan." He's like, "Where are you driving?" And I told him. He's like, "I'm like 40 minutes away." And he's like, "I live 40 minutes away. Stop by my house as soon as you get here." And that's that. Like I said, when I got married, that's who my best man was the only one that lives up here. Then, but like, you know how it is, like you get out of the military, you try to stay in contact with people. There's a certain group of people that no matter what won't break that bond. But then you deal with what nowadays you got to deal with people with their disability and their VA benefits trying to bump it up to 100. Getting 100 is not a problem with me if you deserve it. But now you got people that are lying about what we did over there and stuff like that, and they get 100. They're getting like free houses and free vehicles. That's not the people I want to talk to. So I pick and choose who I talk to now.
Yeah, man, that whole VA disability is a touchy subject. And my thing is if I follow the letter of the law, I'm good. I look at that sheet and it says, hey, this is where 50% is. This is where this is. And I say, okay, yeah, I check that off. Hey, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it, man.
No. See, me, I'm the same way. I did everything I was supposed to do. I ended up getting 90%. They're like, you can get 100%, but it's not working. I was like, yeah. I'm not the type of person that wants to sit at home. I was like, if you give me 90%, I'll be okay. It's $1,000 difference.
Right.
But you get that $1,000 difference and you go back to work full time, you're making, like now I make like $5,000 just a month just at work on top of my disability pay. So
yeah,
I'll lose that $1,000 disability pay.
Now, when you get out, where's your mental at? Because you do, what'd you say, 12 years in the Army. Okay. So I'm assuming the bond that you built with the Marines and the Marines is, I'm not going to speak for you, but do you feel like that was stronger than what you made in 12 years in the Army? Or
Man,
was it?
I don't talk to anybody in the Army. I don't feel the need to talk to anybody in the Army, but I would always go back to anything Marines. Yeah. And like I was always trying to stay in contact with people. I got people that root for Ohio State. I root for Michigan. So we're always going back and forth just for being the Marines. I still got a piece of paper from when I was in Japan in 2002. I got a piece of paper that was left on my door from when the Astros played the Chicago Cubs. And he left on the door. I still have this to the day from 2002.
I think there's something to be said about how I don't know what it is about the Marines where we just build this. I don't know if they just brainwash us into, loving each other so much,
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference is, but I hear this time and time again where guys are like, dude, it's just, I will never forget. Now, I agree that some guys come and go, but when so one of my kids that I had a complication with when my wife had a complication. And those guys called me when they found out, and they're like, dude, do we need to fly down there? Do we need to send you money? Like, what do you need? We got you. And I'm like, whoa, dude, it's like, I got this. Like, I appreciate you reaching out. Like, that means the world to me. That was all I could ask for. It's just knowing that you've seen that and said, you know what, let me call him and make sure he's good.
I mean, it's the same way. It's the same way for me. Like, my deployment's in the Army. Like, like you're deploying, there's a chance you're not coming back, and everybody should know that. I would have family members that wanted me to call them to say goodbye instead of them taking the time to call me to say, I wish you luck, I wish everything. I would have all my buddies in the Marines, all my brothers in the Marines, they would find out I'm deploying. They would be calling, texting, video chatting, everything. Yeah. And that's why they were all brought to the wedding.
Man, that's awesome. So now what about so you finish it, you get out. When would you, I'm only going to say this about PTSD. Do you think you had it after Iraq, or do you think it got worse when you left the service completely?
I knew I had it when I was in Iraq, because on the flight home, I knew I had it, because this is a long flight home. You're in your head. You're dealing with all your buddies, all your brothers that you lost, everything that went on, everything that you saw. And then when I got out, it got like worse. Like, you don't have anybody that that went through the same stuff that you went through there to talk to just be around, not even talk. And so I'd have everybody like work. They'd be like, hey, what's going on? Hey, don't worry about it. I don't want to tell you. And everything. There was actually one job I got let go through because I had that face, that dead face from the Marines still on my face. They let me go just because I had that, because people said I looked angry, and it's just because of that. And I was like, dude, it's a serious situation that's going on. And I was like, I can't fix it. I can't help it.
Yeah.
And it got worse, especially when my ex-wife left me. She left me like 2 days after I was retired from the service, because there was no guaranteed paycheck anymore, and she didn't have the benefits and all that stuff. So she left me like 2 days. And so then I got dark. Like, I ended up getting addicted to pills for a while. It got real bad, and I started drinking 10 times more. But all of a sudden I went to go get my hair cut, and that's when I met my wife. She was my hairstylist, and that's pretty much what brought me out of that.
Wow. So she was the turning point, so to speak.
Yeah, she is. Even my daughter, I didn't talk to my daughter for a while because I was going through things mentally, and I didn't know what I was doing. And so, like, we would always argue. She said I'd treat her like crap, stuff like that. My daughter, she'll tell you right now, there's a difference night and day since this happened.
Man. So now, does she see my wife? I can understand this because my wife, I tell her everything. So, like, when she was like, what's wrong with you, blah, blah, I'm like, look, I'm just going to tell you the story. You may not understand what it was like. I'll try to explain how it felt, but I'm just going to tell you. Like, because I just want to tell something. And she just listened for a long time. And so are you telling her some of the stuff that you're like, hey, man, this bothers the fuck out of me. This happened, is she hearing it all, so to speak, at this point?
She hears everything. Like, I'll still have dreams to the day. Like, I'll wake up with sweats and everything. And is it another episode? Is it this? Are you uncomfortable? But she knows when I'm having a bad day. And
right.
She, not say she walks on eggshells, but she knows how to get around it to where it doesn't push me over the edge.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, you can't ask for nothing more. You can't ask more for a partner that understands it, so to, as much as she can, and, just works with you, man. But my wife's also been on the offensive a little bit too, because sometimes when I get too far into it, she's like, hey, look, like, you're going down. I need you to, you need to stop drinking or whatever. And so she keeps me honest. And that's another thing that I find great.
Mine does too. But like I said, after a wedding, drinking that much, like, I made my choice to, hey, I'm not going to touch it. I'm done.
Nice. Okay.
So I basically quit just for her because I didn't want to ruin anything with her.
Yeah.
And she'll tell me you don't have to. You don't have, if you want to drink, you can have a drink.
Yeah.
But since I made it my choice, I'm trying my hardest to stick to it. But then again, the birthday's coming up on the 10th. And so that might be a little different story. And so she knows.
Yeah.
But my ex, she used my PTSD against me to get the kids. That's the only reason why she got the kids.
Man. Yeah.
And now this one, she's actually in school for psychology. So she may try to help me, but I don't think it'll work.
You're going to be the scientific guinea pig.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that I take 3 months off from drinking a year, so I'm not drinking right now until Christmas. So I take from Labor Day. It just, for me, I wouldn't say I'm an alcoholic, but I have a consumption problem, meaning that, like, if I have a 6-pack, I will drink it until the 6-pack is gone.
Yeah. See, I drink mine because I drink a lot of sweet tea. And so I drink mine like a sweet tea. It's just until that gallon's done, I'll keep on drinking it.
Yeah, man. And some people just can't have any. But luckily, taking 3 months off a year has kind of showed me that I can throttle back. And, that's helped. Now, there will be occasions where I'll drink too much. And see, that's the problem. I chose this time frame that I follow every year. And then it was the second year I realized it's a Marine Corps birthday. And
Yeah.
I can't believe I chose these dates.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
You can leave an IOU letter if you want to.
Take one day off and then throw one day back on the back end.
Yeah. That's what they do with payments sometimes. You miss a car payment, add it onto the back.
Add it on to the back. Yeah, no shit. Okay, so she's obviously helped you. How do you feel like you are today?
I have my moments. Like, I'll be at work or I'll be working on the car or mowing the lawn or whatever, and I'll just get a flashback, and then I'll sit there and I'll be off the rest of the day. Yeah. And I'll try to hide it from everybody. It doesn't work, but there's certain things that I will not talk about to her.
Yeah.
Like the very bad things, because when we were over there was really bad things going on.
I mean, I think that's one of those things where it's something you learn to live with. It's a quirk, so to speak. It happens. I can't say for myself I've ever had a totally complete flashback, but I've had symptoms and types of it. But I can't say that I've ever been like to the point where I sat down and said, okay, yeah, that was.
I can still give you accurate directions for Ramadi, how to get down the side streets to this day. I still get smells. I'll still see, like when Green and Schrage, my two buddies that drowned, there was a dead cow that was on the side of the road. We walked past it for like 3 days, back and forth. Nothing changed. Finally, the last time we were walking by, there was an IED underneath there. We walked straight through the IED to blast everything. We had no injuries whatsoever.
So it detonated.
It went off completely. The cow was gone. You couldn't even find the cow. And when the smoke cleared, we saw them running in the distance and take off after them.
Dude, how many RPGs were fired at y'all in Ramadi?
Quite a bit. My company commander, his vehicle got hit right in the radiator with an RPG, didn't detonate.
Give me the hottest firefight you got into in Ramadi.
There's two of them. One of them was blue versus blue against the Army right across the river. That thing was lighting everything up. We had vehicles burning behind us, everything. But finally, we called it ceasefire. Then we had, when we took our most injuries, it was basically like a citywide Ramadi-wide firefight. All of our units were all in firefights. We were running out of magazines, and we'd have to go downstairs in the basement over CPE and grab like the AK-47s and use their rounds and start firing back and forth with AK.
Man, dude. How long was that firefight last for?
Like 12, 14 hours. Nonstop.
Y'all have air support at the time?
No. Not at that time.
See, that's the thing. I don't think you were in Afghanistan, obviously. Was the air game a little bit different because of how populated it was?
I think so. Like when I was in Afghanistan, we'd be calling warthogs and come fire and everything.
Yeah.
You go to Iraq, you can barely call a taxi.
Man, dude. Yeah, see, that sucks. And now, did y'all have small gunners?
Yeah, we did.
Did you utilize them?
Not us, not my company.
Yeah.
But the other companies did.
I was going to say, I feel like a small gunner might be effective at a building, you know. Did y'all ever blow any buildings? Because, you know, if you read about like 3-1 in Fallujah, but now granted, Fallujah was different because the ROEs were different. And you already said that the ROEs were pretty tight in Ramadi. So I guess, was the civilian population going about their normal day every day? Or was this kind of like a war-torn environment?
It would be business as usual, but like there was a couple times where we knew something was going to go down because we were in like an apartment building, and all of a sudden you saw all the windows start shutting, and we're like, we're about ready to get hit. Next thing you know, they blew up the building that we're on top of. I think they planted, I think it was like six rounds, IED rounds, in like the basement, but they planted on the wrong side of the building. We were on this side, they planted on the opposite side. And so it went off and the smoke cleared, and you look and there's like half the building's gone.
Holy cow. Dude, man, I mean, y'all just got, was it nonstop every day? Or was it just?
It was close. Like sometimes we'd have like 6 days nonstop.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd go like half a week. Sometimes we'd have a week off vacation. Yeah. And then they'd come back and pop it off again. We start getting mortared through the city.
Now, what were these local fighters, or were these fighters that were brought in, or did y'all even know that at the time?
We knew that there was local fighters there when we went in, and it seems like more and more just kept on showing up. Yeah. Especially once we started getting mortared, they were shooting mortars throughout the city, and we were watching them walking on our position. We knew something that it was going to get worse, and it got worse.
How'd they fire mortars? They fire them out the back of a truck?
We never found I was never with them when they found the mortars, because we were on top of that hotel that I was telling you about. I think it was like 20 floors. And all of a sudden we look off, and we were watching this red vehicle drive back and forth. And we're like, something's wrong with that vehicle. He's watching us.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, we start getting mortared, and we were watching further off in the city, and they'd start walking closer and closer and closer and closer. And we see that red vehicle come through. I'm like, well, we're calling in the mortars. No, we can do. And so we light up the red vehicle, and he hits the embankment, and nothing survived out of that one. But I don't think we ever found the mortars.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask, if you could shoot the spotter. Obviously, you answered that, because me and another guy were talking about that, because they told us in Afghanistan we couldn't shoot people with cell phones, you know. But I remember early the stories from Iraq. They were like, dude, if you had a cell phone and you were watching us and talking on the cell phone, they were lighting those dudes up.
We gave them warning shots on the road as he's driving. Had that thing pegged all the way down. We all got online on top of that hotel, and all of us just lit up that vehicle.
Man,
I mean, they come out and they verify, does he have a weapon in the vehicle, does cell phone in the vehicle, and stuff like that. If not, you get investigated. But
yeah,
you just got to be careful.
Did y'all ever get any investigations, or were there any shoots that were maybe, you know, here or there, you know, until they looked at it?
It was that red vehicle.
Oh, okay. That
red vehicle was definitely highly looked at, because the end result was pretty bad of that vehicle.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, you hear about that, but it's the same way in Afghanistan, where the Taliban would put people in a house, and then, you know, you'd end up doing an airstrike on it, but they're shooting from the house. And What was the no-go zone? Was it because I heard, now it was the same way in pretty much anywhere in the Arabic world, we couldn't shoot at mosque, you know. They go to the mosque for like shelter.
If they're close enough, because there was a massive mosque. I mean, if you look at it, it was gorgeous looking, all shiny blue and everything. If they were close enough to that, they would go into there, but they wouldn't hop in a vehicle and just haul down the road to try to make it.
You ever seen that video of that? I think it's a tank that shoots the tower of a mosque in Iraq. Yeah, hitting a sniper. That was a pretty sweet video, man. I remember watching that. That was pretty tight.
I think 2-4, when they went back in 2006, I think they ended up bombing Ramadi.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What was the development? So you guys are there, but does it get worse while you're there? Does it get better, or is it kind of the same the whole time in 2004?
It got worse. I think it got worse. I knew it got worse just by my observation. I don't know what they saw, but I remember our last firefight when we went out to when those two drowned. I looked at my company gunny. He's like hearts and minds. I was like, that's right, 2 in the heart, 1 in the mind. And after that, it started getting worse.
Man. Now, I'm assuming y'all probably wanted some retribution for a couple points during that, So, I mean, I know y'all were geared up and ready to go. But when you're there throughout the deployment, is there any point where you're like, this is it? This is the last, like, this is my last firefighter. This is, like, I almost got killed here. Is there any point where you were like, damn, that was really close?
Yes, actually, there was. Like my dad died when I was in Guam, and I never made it back to the funeral because I was in Guam. And so everyone said, your dad's watching over you. So we're walking down a side street, and we get another fight, and they start shooting down there, and everyone takes cover, and I stand there in the middle of the road. I was like, I didn't care at that point. I was like, if it's my time, it's my time. And I literally watched the rounds go around me and then continue on going. I was like, that was pretty close. I was like, I need to knock this off. So it's got to be done soon.
So, yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, those close calls, it's like, I'm sure y'all probably had bullet holes in gear, in trucks, in windows. Yep. I mean, me and one of the other guys were talking about, he said their radio operator got his antenna shot off. I mean, just crazy close calls.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt we didn't have like radio operators getting everything shut off. It was more like people getting their heads and everything else shutting off. But we had a lot of vehicles with bullet holes, a lot of vehicles with blood in it, but nothing really major like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, those vehicles y'all had at the time, you said they were soft skin Humvees, so it's not like, I mean, you might as well just took the damn doors off and shot out the side of it.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was soft. It was more like baby skin armor because there was nothing really there. It was literally, like I said, a Folgers can.
Yeah, those are the originals. And
yeah,
man. So now when you leave the service altogether, what do you do then? What's your job at that point?
Since I left the service, I've been like maintenance supervisor, stuff like that since I left.
So how do you feel doing that? You still like, if I could go back, I'd do it?
If I can go back right now, if you would have put a contract right in front of me, I'd probably do it and ask for forgiveness later at home.
Yeah. Yeah. Civilians, what's your high and low on how civilians are?
Man, sometimes it depends on where you're at, like in the state and the country. Sometimes it's like you turn on the TV, watch the news, you're like, what are we doing? What's going on? It's like there's people don't have anything in their mind, what's going on in their mind. They don't know what's going on. We got snipers shooting people, talking. We've got people stabbing people on Black Friday for what? For a Lego set? We didn't do that stuff in the Marines, in the mill.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever feel like, I know I told my wife this one time, I was like, I did not survive a combat deployment and then just a couple other easy deployments overseas to get killed at a gas station in this fucking country. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I don't, it drives me nuts how it is right now. Just some civilians, like you talk to them, like I'll talk to them, like how like somebody like me and you can talk together and stuff, and they get the look on their face and you're just the asshole and crap like that. And I can't stand it. Like I said, I'd go back in a heartbeat.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is you finally realize that we got to live with them. You're like, well, fuck it. The military's only going to let me stay in for so long. Now I got
what am I going to do now? I got to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say that I got lucky because the farm has 2 employees. One's part-time, only one's full-time. And I honestly deal with 350,000 chickens. I don't have to deal with people. So yeah, that's super nice.
See, not me. I work in a canning plant. Like people would send like Monster or whatever. We make the Monster and then we put it in cans and we ship it out for them and stuff like that. And I'd rather work with frogs, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's terrible work. It's 7 days a week, but honestly, it's peaceful. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to. I just don't have to deal with people. Yeah. Now, so what's your future plans? You said the wife you're trying to. She's got to finish college.
Yeah, she's got to finish college. Should be done in a couple years, and after that, then we've been talking about me getting my 100% and fully retiring.
Yeah.
Then my buddy lives out here. He's already 100%. You got to be 6 months no work, then you can draw from your Social Security.
Yeah.
And then it will pay. Then that will help pay. But she got to graduate first, and then she becomes my money bags. She can be the breadwinner.
Now, what are you going to do though? Because I know you're not going to be able to do nothing. You're going to have to stay. You're going to stay busy doing something.
I'll find something, man. If I can still move around, I'll get up and move around. Maybe open a shop or something.
Yeah, man. Maybe you need to travel. I bet you probably don't want to travel at this point.
I won't go out of the country. I already told my wife before we got married, I'm not going out of the country.
Probably a good call. I feel like if I get stuck in a foreign country, I'm like, I told my wife one time, I was like, the thing that scares me the most about international travel is I can't carry a gun.
Yeah, exactly.
It's already bad enough going places in this country without it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
With all the metal detectors going on, you're like, man, somebody's got to get something in there.
Dude, I'm telling you. I mean, honestly, I've 3D printed some stuff, but I've never 3D printed anything that was like where it wouldn't be detected by a metal detector, but they make some pretty cool 3D printed junk out there.
They make 3D printed junk, but a while ago when I was still in, like I had blueprints, like how to build everything out of hardened plastic. Never got around to it because I was a machinist. Yeah. And so I got blueprints. I was like, I never got around to it, but that probably would have worked.
It probably would. And as a machinist, you would know exactly how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I have, because of my FFL, I do gunsmithing, but I do basic gunsmithing. But I did buy a lathe and a milling machine, and I'm going to tell you right now, I was like, I got this. I'm going to read the machinist Bible. No, sir. No.
It's all by feel. Yeah. Like I got pictures. I may still have one around. I machined down a solid brass 50 cal round, and that thing took me forever to do that. And I machined it all the way down to the tip, the projectile, put it together, had the primer in there, machined down primer, had everything in there. I think it took me like 3 weeks to get it done, polished and everything.
Wow, I was going to say it probably took you a minute. I mean, that's the thing is you're right. It's about feel, because there were a couple jobs I screwed up where it was like, well, that was my fault. And then, you know, feeding too fast. I remember I bought like the most expensive bit I had ever bought, like a milling bit. And I was like, dude, these things are high, and literally ran it in too high a feed, snapped it off. And I was like, well, there went that money.
That. Yeah, I've done that too. Like I said, I wanted to be able like my dad. He was in the military. So I went in the military. He was a machinist. He machined parts for like military jet engines.
Oh, sick.
And he used to be able to machine things down thinner than a fingernail, like just by feel. No gauges, no nothing. And that's where I took it from.
See, that's the thing is back in the day, they didn't have DROs like we had. No. You know, they were looking at the dial marks on the, you know, on your axis, and I don't know how they did it.
That's why things ran a lot better back in those days than what we got now.
Yeah, everything was built by analog rather than digital. Yeah, I feel that, man. Okay, well, man, I think that's about it. But what I wanted to ask you before we went, you do all this. You done 18 years. You've seen the worst of it in your first deployment, first or second really, because Ramadi, you went to Japan first.
Yeah.
But all that time, what advice? You know, you said your wife's helped you, and I would say that you're probably in a good place. What advice would you give to other guys that maybe still ain't quite there yet?
Not necessarily. You don't necessarily have to go to counseling if you don't feel like it, but you need to find at least one person that you're comfortable enough to talk to. Start off little. Start off like I tripped over a rock in Iraq. Then take it all the way up to like your worst. And as soon as you get your worst off your chest, it's off your chest. You don't have to hold it in no more. Because holding it in, that's the part that kills you. It's not the dreams. It's not the thoughts. It's not the feels or sense. It's your mental. So you got to get it out of your mental capability.
Yeah. Now, would you say staying busy is a good way?
Staying busy. It's okay to take it easy every once in a while. But if you're just sitting on the chair or on the couch doing whatever, doesn't matter whether you're watching TV, playing video games, or just sitting there thinking, that's that's another thing that's going to bite you in the end. So if you stay busy, get your mind off of what you don't want to think about, then your day is going to go by a lot faster.
Yeah. I think that's great advice. And that's what we talked about too. You know, guys have said that an idle mind is the devil's playground.
Yeah.
You know.
And some of the movies and TV shows out there, that's what will get you.
Yeah.
But if you want a good one watched, especially for you, you need to watch Boots on Netflix.
You are the third person that has told me I need to watch that.
I told my wife this is exactly how boot camp is to a T. It's very accurate.
That's what somebody told me. Somebody said that the acting, like they were like the only thing that was kind of stupid was the premise, you know, like the overall right of the story was kind of stupid, but they said that the Marine Corps portion of it was dead on.
It's dead on. I called everything that was going to happen, like within the first episode, told my wife, I was like, that person's that person's that, this person's going to win. But then you watch it, it brought back like good memories of being in it.
Yeah, good memories. Good memories. Now, would you say that the bad memories sometimes that we have, so a lot of times guys will say that we don't let them go because we don't want to forget the people that we lost. Yeah. You know what I mean? What would you say about that? Would you say that full stop, just keep them? Or is there a way to maybe still remember that person without it being so traumatic? You know what I'm saying? The memory.
No, I think you should talk about it and get it out, because like even when you had like family members or friends or whatever pass away, you don't talk about it as much, but they're still inside of you. Even though you don't talk about them or think about it as much, they're still there. So really it doesn't matter holding things in. I 100% recommend don't hold it in, because that's what will tear you apart your family, your friendships, everything. That's what causes in my eyes, a lot of the suicides, because they got nobody to talk to.
Right. Yeah. I think that's the thing too about that support system. If you don't have that support system, whether that support system's just a psychiatrist or it's your wife or if it's your family, your kids, your friends, other vets, it doesn't matter. We need it. You got to have it.
Yeah. But I'm also like the type of person where, like, you get PTSD, they put you on a plethora of medication. They give you a cocktail. I was on 36 pills a day. It's like, I can't do this no more. It's killing my body. So you find your own ways to actually get over it. But the answer is not going to be alcohol or pills or drugs or anything like that. It's actually getting it out. Yeah. Like I said, you don't need a psychiatrist. If you have to, talk to your dog. Yeah.
No, I mean, that's a good one. I mean, if you just got to talk it, physically voice it and say, hey, I need to. And I mean, if that you and your dog are having a moment, then fuck it. That's what it takes, dude. And I mean, now you said they put you on SSRIs at one point.
Yeah. Yes.
So you 10 out of 10 wouldn't recommend.
Personally, I would recommend it. Just by the way, it made me feel like I was dead to the world, like I was numb. Dude, with that much that I was on, 36 pills a day, it will get you.
That'd have been insane. Yeah, now I know some guys that have had them, and that's what they said. They said they're terrible. They said they make it worse almost.
Yeah. Yeah, in my opinion, it's just a mask that they're trying to put over you. But you don't forget anything. It just makes you numb enough to where it doesn't affect you as much.
And you don't give a shit. And then you don't give a shit about nothing. Then you don't give a shit about your marriage or your kids or anything else.
Yeah. And then you run out of pills and then you got to find something else. It's a downfall for everybody.
Well, I'm glad you're doing good. And I'm glad you made it out. And, you know, and we can be better without forgetting what happened. And we can be better without forgetting the guys who gave it all.
Yeah.
And we can still say their names and we can still honor them. You know, well, I appreciate it, man. And if you just want to say goodbye to everybody here, and we'll wrap this up.
All right. Thanks for everybody. Come listen. Enjoy your night. Be safe. Do the right thing. And if you get a chance, talk to somebody. It doesn't matter if you're going through something. Talk to it. Find a veteran and talk to them. See how they're doing. If you just tell them, hey, how's your day? That's good enough. But thanks for joining in.
Well, I appreciate it, John. And I'll see everybody else next week. Thanks.